What's up, everybody? So this is insane. I was literally just sitting here recording videos, not live. It's about what, it's 15 minutes ago now. Obviously, we start seeing reports that gunshots go off at Trump's rally. Here, it's the footage if you have not seen it yet. Then there's pictures coming out of, I guess his ear is bleeding. Here, I have that here. A little bit blurry, but you can see he had blood on his ear. And I mean, dear God, if a gunshot really went off and grazed Trump's ear, I don't know how this happens, but Jesus, I mean, this is I guess, clear of a sign of the deep state freaking out as you could possibly get. And I mean, funny enough, I've been reading this book right here, and it's really about the people who control the world in the sense. And I mean, that's what I think of when I see this happening, like these deep, powerful forces that control everything, that don't have control of the sky, and they're used to for 100 years controlling the way things work in the world. And they're freaking out in the highest possible extent right now. But I mean, I don't know about you guys, but if they're actually successful in taking this guy out, then I mean, like, all bets are off. I mean, we can't act normal in a situation like that. What do you guys think? Do you think this is like a rogue assassination attempt? Like, they're probably going to try and spin it, or I mean, you think it's a MK Ultra thing? Because I don't know how much you've looked into the JFK and RFK stuff, but I have no doubt at all that those were both MK Ultra situations. But from this thing, it sounded like multiple different guns going off. I mean, let's listen again. Two. All right, so a lot of shots here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So about 5 shots going off. What do you guys think? And by the way, if anybody wants to jump in this chat right here, because I mean, this is all developing stuff in the moment. I could drop a link in this chat right here if anybody wants to jump in. So if you want to jump in, if you know anything about what's going on right here, I just dropped a link in the chat, and it gives you the ability to jump into this. Because I mean, believe me, this is far from a thing that I plan to do today, to talk about today. But from what I see so far, the shot literally grazed his ear. And I mean, if that's not an act of God, I don't know what is. Let's see. And there's nobody reporting about this either right now. So you type in Trump shot on Google. All right, stuff's starting to trickle in now. What's the New York Times saying? Trump rushed off stage after rally. The president was escorted in his motorcade at his rally. Blah, blah, blah. Escort off the stage, Secret Service in the motorcade just minutes after rally in PA. After a series of shots, they're saying a series of pops that sounded like gunshots rang out. The exact source of the noise was unclear, but Mr. Trump's ear appeared to be bleeding. I mean, I guess it's possible maybe his ear got cut after being tackled, but I don't want to. Is anybody? Let's see if any major news source is actually confirming that it was 100% gunshots. Let's see. I'll show you what I'm seeing right here. So, gunshots reportedly fired by Sky News. Trump rushed off stage. Let's see what the liberal stations are saying. NBC. Trump rushes off stage after shots fired at his Pennsylvania rally. Former president just started the events. So nobody is going out and confirming it was actual gunshots yet. Trump escorted off stage during rally after possible shots heard from Fox Austin. Bet if I refresh it, stuff's gonna be coming out more. Nobody confirming it's gunshots yet. Let's see. ABC News. Donald Trump's been rushed off stage after loud bangs sounded like gunshots. Video showed blood in his ear as he was first escorted to a vehicle by a Secret Service today. Footage showed. What do you guys think? Gavin Belsom, nice try, Biden. Mecca Films, holy WTF, Biden really desperate to win. Well, that's the interesting thing now, though, is that I think the deep state both wants Biden to get out of the situation, and they want Trump to get out. So they have two options. They can't control either of the two for different reasons. One of them is not exactly with us anymore and coherent. The other one not controlled like the most of the presidents that they've had in the past. I mean, go back. Obama was placed in the White House. George Bush placed in the White House. Clinton, not as much placed in the White House, but he was willing to play ball because he wasn't rich and independent from the system. I mean, our friend Stephen Greer, who was on the podcast recently, came on and he said that Bill Clinton was sat down by Bush Sr., spoken to, and told to comply, which, I mean, he ended up playing ball, but Trump's not somebody who's going to sit down and get spoken to and play ball. So let's see. What do you guys think the narrative is going to be if, it's confirmed that Trump was hit in the ear by a bullet? He also grabbed his ear. Hockey mom is saying no one ever suppressed the fire. I mean, yeah, I'm kind of reacting to all this live time because, like, it's the number one thing that we've been afraid of. Because I mean, even if they cheat in this election, it's going to be difficult for them to win. But whether it's Trump or Tate, what do they always say? They try to ruin your name, and they try to arrest you, and then they ultimately try to assassinate you if both those fail. And again, this book right here, it's just a total coincidence that I'm reading about right now. It took me like 3 weeks to get it. This guy's been pretty much blacklisted. John Coleman talks about this thing called the Committee of 300, which is the people who control the world. And we talk about the deep state, we talk about the globalists, but I didn't really start looking into this until our friend Stephen Greer came on the other day, and he's deep into this world of who controls really everything. And it's a committee of 300 or 400 people that we've never heard of before. And anything like, we know what having the wind of the deep state at your back looks like. We know what having the wind of the deep state going against you looks like. And a good example of that, them protecting Biden before this, and then after they decide they're done with Biden, now the deep state's going against Biden. But I don't think the deep state or the globalist is necessarily the right word for this. I think that we got to start mentioning this much more often, because this guy who wrote this book, John Coleman, he was a British intelligence officer, and he said he spent 20 to 30 years writing this book, and it doesn't talk about it they. It literally lists out 300 people who have been, them and their families have been controlling everything in the world for the last 500 years at least. So you want to talk about you want to talk about the deep state, the people that probably did this, the people that definitely did what happened to JFK, the people, even that Lincoln, he talks about Lincoln and Garfield, the presidents who got assassinated. This is who he cites for this. So I that's now what I think of, and I think that's the word to use when we talk about the activities of those who control the world. So, like I said, there's not a whole lot to get into news wise from what's happening with Trump. Every single news site is just saying same thing: shots fired, what sounded like gunshots fired at Pennsylvania rally. Trump rushed to the hospital. So, yeah, it sounds like it sounds like shots were fired, hit Trump in the ear, rushed off. I mean, I assume that he's okay if a shot grazes his ear. That's an act of God. But I also think it's safe to assume that if shots were fired, that right here, this group, you want to call them the globalists, you want to call them the deep state. This is the group to look at. And total coincidence that I happen to be making content about that today, and this happens. But if they actually take Trump out, then I mean all bets are off. We can't act normal in that situation. So if any new things come out, I'll be the first one to jump on it because I'm here all day today making content. So it's all give our thoughts and prayers to Trump today, and true act of God if he pulls through and was shot and survived that. I mean, insane. Well, love you guys. Thanks for hopping on, and like I said, I'll be right back on if anything new happens because we're not getting a lot of new information at the moment. I'll see you guys later.